Now the King album is what you know about that, why you want to go and do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, just one of my biggest, definitely my biggest album at that time. And also the album that I dropped the same week as ATL dropped. And with ATL having the enormous success and the impact on the culture that it had, with the King album having the success and the impact that it had, with What You Know had as a single having the impact that it had, man, to get to the Grammys when they have best rap album, and goddamn, they gave that motherfucker to Ludacris for, I think it was Battle of the Sexes or one of his albums. Don't get me wrong, Ludacris is a phenomenal artist, and I feel like he does deserve to have his celebration as accolade. But that year, that was my motherfucking year. That was my year. You know what I mean? So really, the other Grammys that I have were tainted by the fact that I know I was supposed to get that motherfucker, and it didn't happen. You know what I mean? But so I can see how motherfuckers feel, you know, like about the Grammys and how they feel like they just a little bit out of touch.
Yeah, I left after that.
You left?
Hell yeah.
Was it televised? Cause that's a difference.
Yeah, it was televised.
See, you know what I'm saying? I was out. See, one of mine was at least that year. Let's just talking about that year. So one of my nominations was televised, but then the other one I had already won before the show even started.
Yeah.
So I got the call. I was like, "Yeah, man, you got one." I was like, "Shit, hell yeah, it's gonna be a good night." For sure. You did, and so, but the thing is, it wasn't but one of them that was televised though, and that one, I say, "Oh man, these people tried it then." I wonder if I fixed my face. I'm gonna go back and Google and see what happened.
I still think we should have got ours too, for sure.
You
Even though Drake won it, I still think it should have been us.
Mean,
cause I don't hear how
I like
rings
me
to
over
this
everybody.
Day.
I don't give a damn.
To you.
I
That
mean,
motherfucking
you know,
crew, that bitch ringing off.
Hey, man,
that's
listen,
a cultural record, man.
I think that you supposed as an artist, you supposed to like you over everybody.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? You supposed to have respect for other people, but shit, I like me over everybody. I don't give a damn. What's next?
Man,
how you gonna celebrate your birthday, man?
Man, I'm going out the country.
Anywhere in particular? Would you like to share?
Man.
Hell nah, that's a no.
I don't think they could get the drop on that, but it's gonna be a movie, man. It's gonna be a real movie out there, man. One of my biggest, cause this was a hard year for me. You know, I just lost my granny, my uncle, back to back.
Sorry to hear that, bro.
But, yeah, you know, I'm a champ, man.
That's right.
We celebrating, man.
That's right. That's right. I think, man, the loss of life is tough, bro. The loss of life is tough.
But it gotta happen.
Absolutely.
That's when you learn life.
The loss of life is tough. I mean, but at the same time, it's so many lessons. You learn so much appreciation. You know what I mean? And it's so humbling and so spiritual, so grounding. Experiencing that level of loss. Now, cause I would compare. I don't really know much about your relationship with your uncle or your granny, but I know how I felt when I lost my sister Precious. And of course everybody tore up around me, and you know what I'm saying, I had my own feelings, and you know, keeping it together, you know, being what I need to be for the women and the children and the family and whatnot. But man, that's some shit that I never replaced. That like I lost something that I'll never have in my life again. You know what I'm saying? Like my sister was the one who knew more about my father's side of the family. Told me about, you know, when my daddy was running numbers and how this happened back in the 70s and 60s, and you know, now this is the thing that went down, see, because you're such and such, you know what I mean? And that's a whole part of history that I don't have no more, you know what I'm saying, that I can't plug into that way. And I think it take us too long to realize that as young black men, you know what I mean?
No, it definitely make you appreciate life.